Excellencies, in Kenya we like to clap to welcome them, so why don't we put our hands together as we welcome our delegates as they arrive. Welcome, Your Excellencies, for this auspicious occasion. Welcome.
As guided earlier, we shall start with two anthems. The Kenyan anthem starting us off, followed by the COMESA anthem. I'll request that we all remain standing for us to have those two anthems, and I'll request that we clear the front kindly, including our media team, please, so that we have the two anthems, starting with the Kenyan anthem, followed by the COMESA anthem. The anthems.
May we kindly take our seats. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. Your Excellency Azali Assoumani, President of the Union of Comoros. Your Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Your Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Your Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi. Your Excellency Russell Dlamini, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Your Excellency Mustafa Modly, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Your Excellency Chileshe Mpundu Kapwepwe, Secretary General COMESA, Assistant Secretary Generals of COMESA. Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chair of the African Union Commission. Your Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Your Excellency Major Retired Jessica Alupo, Vice President of the Republic of Uganda. Your Excellency Ambassadors, including ambassadors and representatives accredited to COMESA, the Nairobi County Governor, Honorable Johnson Sakaja, Cabinet Secretaries and Ministers present, Principal Secretaries present, senior government officials from various countries represented, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. To start us off, we invite you all to experience with us an artistic production comprising of cultural and contemporary sounds alongside scenic sights of Kenya. This piece of art is put together by Kenyan youth, and let us now embark on this musical journey of entertainment. Musical team, welcome.
Ethiopia kakop ani kuli yo Kenya ki jo poroko choki ko ignoria era na kajo kakaneria yang Italia ya Lucania ya ton ya kodowan ya ri ya ngatunyu wo
fair chance to success, shared accountability. Like a working government, we enable productivity. A wide and harmonized playing field, our markets we make competitive. Look at all these industries, we make them all productive. Increased agricultural production. Did I say food security? Banking and money matters, harmonized good financial policies, better transport and communication infrastructure. Talk about reliability, spreading our wings to the south and the east of our continent. There is never a doubt about our values and competence. We are a free trade area. We are a custom union. We are trade promotion. We are COMESA.
Ndiyo nguzo ya nchi zetu, tumeungana sote pamoja, tunazijenga nchi zetu
kwa amani na upendo, tuendeleze utu wetu. Haya yote tukizingatia, baraka tele tutapokea.
Vijana, wazee, kina mama, tunaweza tukiungana, furaha, usawa na ustawi, Mungu Baba tatujalia. So full, njooni wazalendo sote tuimbe. So full, COMESA biashara twaimarisha. Harambee, pamoja tutafika kilele. Harambee, Afrika tutaishi milele. Pamoja tutafika kilele. Harambee, COMESA tutaishi milele.
Tunaapa tutaungana tena, ndugu pia na usawa tena, uzalendo kuendeleza tena, na kwa pamoja tutasimama tena. Harambee, pamoja tutafika kilele. Afrika tutaishi milele. Harambee, pamoja tutafika kilele. Harambee, COMESA tutaishi milele.
Let's give them another round of applause for that epic journey of culture through song and dance. Isn't Africa such a rich continent? With your permission, Your Excellency, allow me to now invite you, Your Excellency, to now make welcoming remarks and invite your guests. Let us put our hands together as we welcome His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya. Karibu Kenya.
Your Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and outgoing chairperson of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellencies, fellow heads of state and government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the Africa Union Commission, Honorable Ministers, Her Excellency Jileshe Mbundu Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 24th COMESA Summit of Heads of State and Government here in Nairobi, a forum that allows us to reflect on the milestones achieved and chart the way forward for our organization, the COMESA, the Common Market for East and Southern Africa. Excellencies, Nairobi is not only the political and economic heart of Kenya, but also a vibrant regional hub that connects Africa to the world and a center of innovation, trade, and diplomacy. Hosting the 24th Summit of Heads of State and Government underscores Kenya's strong commitment to regional integration. It also advances our National Development Blueprint Vision 2030, which envisions transforming Kenya into a middle-income country through regional integration and cross-border cooperation. The nature of the 21st century globalization has strengthened the case for regional integration as a pathway to sustainable economic growth. Across the world, nations are uniting in regional blocs to expand opportunities, share risks, and maximize collective development. In Africa, there is a growing sense that by merging our economies and pooling our capacities, endowments, force. Regional economic communities like COMESA remain a central pillar for achieving sustainable economic growth and continental integration. Ladies and gentlemen, COMESA's strength lies not only economic integration, but also in social and human integration. At the heart of our mission are our people and our shared determination to bridge the economic and social gaps that divide our region. Over the years, COMESA's integration journey has not only facilitated trade, but also fostered peace, stability, and resilience across borders. As we gather here today, we must reaffirm our shared vision of prosperity, inclusivity, and sustainable development, ensuring that no member country is left behind. The ultimate goal of integration in Africa must be long-term sustainable growth, job creation, poverty reduction, and improved living standards for our people. Given the increasing competitiveness of the global economy, regional integration is no longer an option. Africa's relevance in the global marketplace will be determined by the depth and the speed of our integration. I wish to assure you, Excellencies, of my personal commitment and that of the government and people of Kenya to continue supporting COMESA, its agencies, and its institutions in advancing programs and initiatives that deepen our integration agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's summit, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, could not be more timely. The world is facing a multitude of complex and interconnected challenges, from emerging trade tensions and rising protectionism to the ongoing disruption of global supply chains. Added to this are economic shocks, rising inflation, debt distress, and the growing influence of digital technologies and artificial intelligence. Combined with food insecurity, the impacts of climate change, and conflicts across regions, these challenges continue to exert immense pressure on our economies. Yet, within these challenges lies opportunities as well. Digitalization offers immense potential to drive sustainability by optimizing resource use, improving energy efficiency, enabling smart grids, and fostering circular economies. By harnessing digital tools, we can enhance cross-border trade efficiency, streamline financial inclusion, and create new platforms that enable small and medium enterprises to access regional and global markets. Importantly, digital transformation is not just about technology. It is about people, it's about jobs, it's about opportunities and competitiveness. COMESA must therefore take deliberate steps to invest in digital infrastructure, data governance, and human capacity building, ensuring that our citizens are empowered to thrive in the digital economy. The 24th COMESA Summit provides us with an opportunity to consolidate our collective effort and take charge of our region's destiny. Let us leave this summit with concrete commitments to scale up intra-COMESA trade, foster industrial linkages, support innovation, and strengthen our resilience against external shocks. Together, we can transform COMESA into a globally competitive region, one that focuses on value addition rather than raw exports, promotes prosperity for all, and pursues growth that is sustainable, inclusive, and transformative. I extend a very warm welcome to all fellow heads of state and government, distinguished guests, and I wish the summit very, very fruitful deliberations. Karibuni to Kenya. Welcome everybody, and thank you very much for your consideration and coming to Kenya.
Another warm clap for His Excellency, our host, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Next, allow me to now invite His Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, who is the chairperson of COMESA Authority and President of the Republic of Burundi. Tumpigie makofi, as we say in Kenya. Let's give him a warm clap as he's approaching. Welcome, sir.
Votre Excellence,
Excellency
William Ruto,
Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, our host,
Votre Excellence,
Excellency,
Monsieur le Chef d'État et de
heads
Gouvernement,
of government, heads of
Votre Excellence,
states,
Chef de délégation,
heads of delegations,
Monsieur le Président de la Commission de
the
l'Union
chair
africaine,
of African Union Commission,
Madame la Secrétaire Générale,
Madam Secretary
COMESA,
General of COMESA,
Mesdames, Messieurs,
ladies and
les chefs
gentlemen,
des organisations
heads
régionales,
of regional organizations,
distingués invités,
distinguished
Mesdames, Messieurs,
guests,
protocole observé.
ladies and gentlemen, all
Rendons
protocols
grâce à Dieu
observed.
Tout-Puissant,
We
lui qui
thank
nous a
God
permis
who
de
has
nous
allowed
rassembler
us
dans cette belle
to
ville
meet
de
here
Nairobi,
in this beautiful city of Nairobi in the Republic
à
of Kenya
l'occasion de ce
during
24e
this
sommet des chefs
24th
d'État et de
summit of
gouvernement du
heads
marché
of state
commun
and
des
heads
pays
of government
d'Afrique
of the
orientale,
common market
COMESA.
COMESA.
Permettez-moi
Allow
prime
me,
abord d'exprimer
first and foremost,
ma reconnaissance
to express my gratitude and that of my delegation to the host for the warm hospitality that we are observing here since we put foot on this marvelous country. Excellencies, Excellency President Dr. William Ruto, thanks very much indeed. And through you, sir, we thank the government and the Kenyan people, to whom I also greet from your friend and brother country, Burundi. Heads of state, ladies and gentlemen, a year now, during the 23rd COMESA summit, which was held in Bujumbura in the Republic of Burundi, you gave me the important task to preside the destiny of our organization. I accepted with a lot of enthusiasm, because Burundi is in the philosophy of the founding of COMESA as an organization of sovereign states and independent, who have agreed to cooperate to benefit from natural resources for the betterment of our populations. Burundi, just like other countries of our organization, doesn't separate the question of development and the idea of peace and security. In this regard, my country has played the important role as a very convinced member state that peace and security development, this is available and possible if we work together. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, during the year, now time has come to see what we have achieved, to consolidate our gains, but as well to see what we have as weaknesses so that we can transform them to strengths. I like to thank my colleagues, heads of state, heads of government, for their precious support. I equally express my sincere gratitude to Madame, the General Secretary of COMESA, Madame Chilese Mpundu Kapwepo, and her team for their commitment and their hard work so that we can go forward with our vision and our common objectives. Excellencies, I had the privilege to guide the Secretariat in the last phase of implementation of the strategic plan 2021-2025, which was launched in 2021. This project has 4 pillars: market integration, productive integration, physical connectivity and infrastructure, as well as social integration and gender equity. This strategic plan has played a very important role as we follow the vision of COMESA, and this will be possible if we have cooperation and integration in all development domains, especially trade, infrastructure, monetary issues, ITC, industry, gender equity, agriculture, and environment. A number of important steps have been covered during this period. When it comes to market integration, even if some member states have liberalized their customs, the trade intra-COMESA went to 14 billion during the year 2024. This is explained by, among others, implementation of digital instruments like a flexible role of origin, the yellow card regime, guarantees for transit at the customs, online surveillance of non-tariff barriers, and others. COMESA has equally fine-tuned instruments like the simplified trade regime to work at the borders so that to help women, youth, and this regime is a concern to a number of small-scale traders. To date, just 8 member states have implemented this simplified trade regime in view to help all that regards trade at the border level. For Burundi and the DRC, this simplified trade regime is going to be launched this month of October 2025 to facilitate cross-border trade, help the small-scale traders, amongst who we have women and youth. Member states are supposed to adopt this instrument because it's going to help our small-scale traders at the border level to carry out their activities without problems. COMESA is encouraging liberalization of service in trade, financial services, transport, communication, tourism, and infrastructure. This is going to allow us to have new opportunities to develop our intra-COMESA trade. We hope that the private sector is going to leverage on a liberalized market, given that this simplified trade regime is not just for trade, but to empower our SMEs, and a majority of them are under the hands of women and youth. Excellencies, invited guests, productive integration of COMESA has allowed member states to stimulate their regional competitiveness, security, that's food security, and have investments that are resilient to climate change. During the past year, the region has had major achievements in the agricultural sector because we have a detailed program for development of the agricultural sector post-Malabo. And we have come up with national plans of investment in the agricultural sector dealing with food security, and we have equally adopted strategic measures that is going to allow us to manage water resources and others. All this is going to have us get resilient when it comes to climate change. The governments and the private sector now have data, real-time data for seasonal planning for crops as well as trade. And its second phase of extension has enlarged the coverage and brought about tools that target small-scale holders, especially women and youth. Livestock fisheries has seen achievements and improvements when it comes to veterinary services to fight better diseases, and now we have initiatives that target markets. This is specifically for pastoral communities. The Blue Economy program is continuing to promote the sustainable management of fisheries and products coming from there. Regional government, given the role that has been played by the continent to date. For industrial development and value addition, COMESA has supported modernization of key sectors such as agro industry and the pharmaceutical industry. And this is through targeted aid for the local context. This has increased the competitiveness of SMEs and the creation of employment, especially for the enterprises that are owned by youth and women. We have an industrial park, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and there are initiatives to enlarge this and to strengthen collaboration when it comes to value chains and harmonization of standards in the pharmaceutical sector, and this thanks to capacity building when it comes to regulation and the laboratory aspects. Now we have sustainable investments that have helped COMESA to have some achievements when it comes to inclusive and sustainable investments. These investments went from 12% from direct foreign investment to 22%, and this thanks to renewable energy and resilient agriculture, especially in Egypt and Kenya. This direct foreign investment towards COMESA that has gone from 55% to get to $65,000 billion in 2024. This is the highest growth for the other economic blocks. Egypt, Ethiopia, Uganda, DRC have represented 90% of the total of direct foreign investment in the region. Excellencies, heads of state, heads of government, distinguished delegates. The regional integration program of COMESA depends on our capacity to have in place good infrastructure, which is going to allow people to move around, goods to move around across our borders. When it comes to free movement of persons and goods, 21st October 2023, the summit that was held in Bujumbura, I know now that members from member states of COMESA came without paying visa for a short stay in Burundi, because we look forward to improve, finally, the question of visa. Beyond that, we have strategic corridor, we have border posts, one-stop border posts. This is a priority. We need to improve our corridors so that we can ease the movement of people and goods. The program of transit facilitation implemented by SADC and EAC, this has contributed to harmonize the regional regulations when it comes to road transport and transit systems. This has allowed to reduce until 30% the time that is taken at the borders in our pilot corridors. However, under investment, inadequate maintenance, this limits the competitiveness of COMESA when it comes to regional logistics at the regional level and at the world level. We have had now good mobile coverage and up to 90% in most of our countries. Among other achievements in ICT, we could say coming up with the harmonized framework for roaming and interconnection and free access to fiber optic. This thanks to a program that is going on in the Indian Ocean, Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, with the support of the EU. However, internet connection is at 40% in the rural areas in most of the member states. We need to bridge this numeric or digital gap. As we look forward to do away with this gap, we thank the World Bank, which has invested 42.2 billion, and this is targeting inclusive digitization in Africa. This initiative looks forward to increase the users of fast-speed internet, and this will help a lot of women during the 8 years of implementation of the project. Energy connectivity remains an obstacle for industrialization and regional integration. In COMESA, EAC, SADC, we have just had very small progress when it comes to trade in electricity in the region during the time 2021-25. Given less electricity and lack of policies when it comes to prices that are not harmonized. In the energy sector, we could say we have come up with standards to deal with the solar. We have frameworks for PPPs and capacity strengthening when it comes to funding of this infrastructure, as given by the World Bank and other initiatives that look forward to fast-track the efforts to have affordable energy. This program is going to make sure that we have clean energy, targeting 100 million members of the population, putting emphasis on access to renewable energy. Ladies and gentlemen, heads of state, heads of government, distinguished guests, the theme to optimize digitization, to strengthen value chains, to have inclusion and sustainable work. As we work together to have this integration, when all this is used correctly, ICT tools can reduce the cost of transactions, improve transparency of the supply chains, and optimize logistics. And this is why all the enterprises of COMESA are going to become competitive, not just at the regional level, but at the world arena. As you know, major obstacles of trade in Africa is the absence of transport infrastructure and integrated logistics supported with technology like blockchain, AI, and cloud computing and others. The usage, correct use of these technologies is going to contribute to guarantee production processes, distribution which is efficient and effective. This is going to make sure that at the border level, work is done, be it at the social aspect, etc. COMESA has put in place very targeted programs to empower the youth and the women. We have a digital platform. 50 million African women have the floor, and this is put in place through initiatives that enable the youth to come up with policies. It's very important for us all to work towards empowering women and the youth in the region. Trainings are proposed to women to help them to come up with ideas, to develop their ideas. We encourage women, youth, to be in leadership and participate in decision-making processes so that we can have gender equity. When it comes to the government governance program on peace and security, COMESA concentrates on prevention of conflicts thanks to the structural assessment of vulnerabilities and strategies for mitigation. COMESA has very good cooperation in this work with the Department of Peace and Security from the African Union Commission and the assessment by peers. Elections are going on in a number of COMESA countries. Heads of state, heads of government, distinguished guests. Despite the successes, we have challenges to deal with when it comes to integration. We have the responsibility to see how we allow our traders to move freely in our region so that we can help them to respect the commitments at the continental level. We really need to work so that our integration program is a success. We need to resolve the paradox. We need integration, yes, but we depend heavily on external donors. So we see that this is reducing. To deal with this dependence, the Treaty of COMESA looks forward to have in place how we can have a common fund to go forward. So, ministers of COMESA, please work with the Secretariat so that we can achieve this. For the private sector, we need to have their active participation in the implementation of the policies that we come up with so that we can have structural transformation and economic diversification. We know the central role that enterprises play and other institutions as we look forward to mobilize the private sector so that we can be much more productive in our region so that we can have development and economic growth. We have solid and efficient institutions that have continued to support our collaboration efforts, working hand in hand with the private sector for economic integration in the region. This partnership is supposed to be strengthened, and we thank the good work that has been done by our precious COMESA institutions in different sectors, be it in the finance, in regional investment, reassurance, and mitigation of investment, be it processing of products, and how we need to help women and youth in all that we are doing. To have an integrated peace and security is to call upon all member countries governments to be concerned by the question of peace and security of their neighbor. It's when we have good neighborhoods that together we can have bigger projects and dream of a region and Africa without borders. Before I finish, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to reiterate my gratitude to every one of you for the support that you have given me during the past year. Thanks very much for your support. Thanks to that, I was able to participate in all these efforts so that we show the contribution of COMESA in international fora. Very specifically, I'd like to thank you, heads of state, heads of government, for the pieces of advice that you have given to the ministers that has given good leadership and stewardship. Sectorial, technical committees, the secretariat, thanks very much. You have worked diligently to have these achievements. I'm going to give the presidency of the conference. I want to thank His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, who is the head of state of Kenya, who is going to take the chairmanship of our organization. Dear brother, Dr. William Ruto, you can count on my support, total support, and that of my government. Under your leadership, I'm assured that the vision of COMESA, being an integrated and a competitive COMESA, this is going to improve the lives of our populations so that we have a REC which is going to be prosperous. I like to thank most sincerely the Republic of Zambia, the rapporteur, outgoing rapporteur, for the support that you have given me. For institutions coming from my country, development partners, thanks very much to support COMESA and its institutions. Same gratitude to you. Excellencies, heads of state, heads of government, distinguished guests. To conclude, allow me to reaffirm that COMESA is committed fully so that we have Africa integration program on the right track. We need to remain united and speak in one voice, given the protection and the disturbance that we see in supply chains. We need to defend our vision, our aspirations, defending the 2063 Africa agenda for an Africa that is prosperous in the world arena. Heads of state, heads of government, Your Excellencies, and I declare open the work of the 24th Summit of COMESA. Long live COMESA, long live Africa. Everybody, thanks very much. Be blessed.
Votre Excellence, Mesdames, Messieurs, it is my honor to announce the new bill of our wonderful organization, COMESA. Now, the leadership will be held by the Republic of Kenya. The new chairman of COMESA Authority is His Excellency Dr. Samoei William Ruto. The vice chairmanship will be held by the Republic of Zimbabwe under the leadership of His Excellency Emerson Mnangagwa. Burundi will remain in the Bureau as Secretary. Excellencies, now it is my pleasure to invite my brother, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, for the handover. Thank you, welcome.
Will kindly request that you come on stage, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, as the incoming chair, together with the Secretary General. And what we'll have here is the handover of instruments of power. Let's take our seats, please. We may kindly take our seats. We'll have an exchange, or rather handing over of the instruments of power. And at this point, allow me to invite Gabriel Masuku to hand over the instruments as I mention what they are. We start with the COMESA Treaty, which is a symbol of solemn, sacred, binding commitment and cooperation to the aims and objectives of COMESA as a rules-based organization with shared values, goals, obligations for integration of the COMESA region. That is the treaty. Let us put our hands together for the treaty. Next, we have the COMESA flag. This symbolizes core values, goals, and identity of collective with COMESA member states, affirming their unity and pride as a pledge to uphold and promote the shared identity of the people of the COMESA region. And the last is the COMESA gavel, a symbol of authority, leadership, formal process of decision-making that promotes, according to respect and adherence to COMESA establishing processes. Let's have the band give us what we call the fanfare. And with that, allow me to request that His Excellency the President and the Secretary General to take their seats. We still have the launch of the treaty. Your Excellency Ndiashimie, the launch of the treaty. Okay. The launch of the treaty. Allow me to invite Gabriel Masuku to just come and run us through what the launch of the treaty is and how that goes. Welcome, sir.
Excellencies, riding on the already established protocols, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Secretary General, Madam Chileshe Mbundu Kapwepo, to come to the podium to facilitate the presentation and launch of the 2024 annual report.
Excellencies, heads of state and government, it is now my pleasure to request the outgoing chair of COMESA Authority to formally launch the annual report to 2024, which he presented during his keynote speech formally to the summit. It is in the official 3 languages of COMESA: Arabic, English, and French.
It is now my singular honor and distinct pleasure to now call upon the chairperson of the COMESA Authority, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to deliver his acceptance speech. Why don't we give him a round of applause as he's coming to deliver his acceptance speech. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, my brother Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and outgoing chair of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, distinguished ministers, Excellencies, members of the Bureau of COMESA Authority, Your Excellency Mohamed Ali Yusuf, chairperson of the Africa Union Commission, Her Excellency Jileshe Mbundu Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of ACFTA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with profound gratitude, humility, and a deep sense of purpose that I stand before you today as the new chair of the COMESA market for Eastern and Southern Africa. I thank you for the trust you have placed in me and in the people of the Republic of Kenya to lead this great organization, one that remains a cornerstone of Africa's economic transformation and a model for continental integration under the Africa Union. Allow me to pay special tribute to my brother and friend, His Excellency President Evariste Ndayishimiye of the Republic of Burundi. Your Excellency, under your wise and steady leadership, COMESA has registered remarkable progress, and from all of us, we say thank you very much and congratulations, Mr. President. You have advanced our shared vision of integration and cooperation with diligence and dedication. For this, we owe you our collective appreciation and deep respect. Excellencies, I assume this responsibility under the inspiring theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Indeed, it is my firm conviction that the future of our prosperity and our rightful place in the global economy will be defined by how effectively we harness the transformative power of digital technology. For far too long, Africa has been a passive recipient and consumer of technology. The time has come for us to become producers, innovators, and exporters of digital solutions, shaping our own economic destiny. In Kenya, the story of M-Pesa is a vivid example of the power of local innovation. A simple idea born from necessity and nurtured by ingenuity that revolutionized financial inclusion for millions. This is the spirit of African innovation we must now ignite and scale across our region. We must move decisively to digitalize every aspect of trade facilitation by investing jointly in physical and digital infrastructure, modern transport corridors, regional data centers, and secure cloud services. These digital superhighway excellencies must not end in our capitals. It must reach every village, connect every farmer, empower every entrepreneur, and link our landlocked nations to the arteries of global trade. Equally, we must harmonize our digital policies and regulatory frameworks. Fragmentation is itself a non-tariff barrier. A single digital market for COMESA will require common standards for e-commerce, digital payments, data protection, and cybersecurity. Let us therefore accelerate the adoption of electronic certificates of origin, integrated single window systems, and interoperable cross-border payment platforms to make our region the most efficient place for trade on our continent. Excellencies, at this time, we must now leap into the fourth industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, by integrating automation, artificial intelligence, and advanced manufacturing. This is how we will transform our rich mineral and agricultural resources into high-value finished products within COMESA, creating quality jobs, boosting economies, and expanding our incomes. Digital solutions in logistics, including real-time cargo tracking, smart port management, and AI-driven supply chain systems will reduce transit times, cut costs, and enhance transparency in our trade networks, making COMESA the most efficient and attractive trading region in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the attainment of our development objectives hinges on access to equitable, affordable, and sustainable financing mechanisms that promote inclusive growth and long-term transformation, not cycles of debt and dependency. As I noted in my recent address to the United Nations, the global financial system remains trapped in the architecture of a bygone era. Institutions such as IMF and World Bank, conceived in the aftermath of the Second World War 80 years ago, continue to be dominated by wealthy nations, resulting in persistent inequities and limited voice for developing countries and poor nations. In response, one of the most viable pathways for Africa and for regional economic blocs like COMESA is to strengthen our homegrown multilateral financial institutions such as Trade Development Bank, Afri-Exim Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, Shelter Afrique, Africa Re, and the Africa Trade and Investment Development Insurance, and ZEP-RE. These institutions, ladies and gentlemen, embody our collective determination to mobilize African capital for African priorities. We may recall that Trade and Development Bank, for example, was established under the preferential trade area, the precursor of COMESA, and has since evolved into the financial arm of our common market, driving regional trade, investment, and sustainable development. That is why here in Kenya, we are backing our words with action. Having already committed $50 million as share capital to Afri-Exim Bank, we have just additionally invested $100 million to enhance our shareholding in Trade and Development Bank. And my good friend Tadesse, the CEO, is at the corner there. These African-led banks are proving to be true partners in progress. Through our participation, Kenya can now access long-term facilities of up to 25 years at reasonable concessional interest rates, tangible proof that investing in our own institutions yields real and sustainable value. By strengthening and capitalizing these entities, we are deepening regional financial integration and ensuring that Africa's development is financed on terms that reflect our realities, our priorities, and our aspirations. Excellencies, intra-COMESA trade, though improving, still accounts for a very small share of total trade. Africa, as we all know, and I was looking at the numbers this morning, only contributes 3% to global trade. And as we also know, intra-Africa trade, and I'm sure my brother Wamkele is here, is only 14% of all our trade. If you compare with Europe, 70% of their trade is intra-European. They trade 70% of their products within Europe. In Asia, they trade 60% of all their products and services within Asia. In Africa, we are only doing 14%. And that is why our contribution to global trade is only 3%, because we are not trading first and foremost with ourselves. And the reason why we are not trading with ourselves, and that is why the essence of COMESA, the reason why we are not trading with ourselves is because we have unlimited barriers. Just imagine that in the European Union, 26 countries, they have a single visa. Therefore, their people can move much more freely. In COMESA, with the, let's say, the tripartite agreement, we have 27 countries and 27 visas to be able to travel. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how we are going to catch up with the rest of the world if we are going to have this visa and that visa and the other visa to cross this border and the other border and the next border. So I want to commend my brother, President Ndayishimiye, this morning for announcing that Burundi is going to join countries in our continent that today are thinking about eliminating visa requirements for Africans to travel within our continent. Secondly, is the issue of trade barriers. We have signed beautiful agreements, but we are not translating those agreements into real movement of products and people on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, we must move from competition amongst ourselves to cooperation and collaboration. From exporting raw materials to building value chains that retain wealth within our borders. At the same time, the question of continental integration must go beyond trade agreements and shared markets. It must also embrace the free movement of people, goods, and services across our borders. True integration will only be achieved when an African can travel, work, and invest freely anywhere within our continent. I will give you some numbers. When we decided as Kenya that we are going to open our borders to Africans and limit the requirements of visa, our visitors from Africa have doubled. Africa's strength lies in its openness and unity. We are optimistic that our sister countries across the continent will take similar bold steps, that together we may unlock the full potential of a borderless, connected, and prosperous Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, our growth must be inclusive, uplifting micro, small, and medium enterprises, empowering women and youth, and ensuring that every citizen becomes a stakeholder in our shared prosperity. Equally, sustainability must be central to our development model. We are stewards of a rich natural heritage, and we owe it to future generations to pursue growth that protects our environment. Excellencies, all these ambitions rest on unshakable foundations: peace, security, and stability. There can be no development without peace and no investment without stability. We must therefore strengthen our collective capacity to prevent conflict, manage disputes peacefully, and uphold democracy, good governance, and the rule of law. This must remain our highest and most sacred duty. The government and the people of Kenya are ready to play our part. In accepting the chairmanship of this great common market, I pledge to serve as a dedicated, energetic, and collaborative partner, working with each of you to advance the COMESA vision of a shared prosperity, integration, and transformation. Together, we can build a COMESA that is digital, that is dynamic, and deeply inclusive, a bloc that truly reflects the promise of a rising Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for choosing Kenya, coming to Kenya, and sharing this moment with us. And thank you very much for your audience. Asanteni sana.
Another warm clap for the chair, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And now we will progress to maiden statements. And to start us off, allow me to now invite His Excellency Azali Assoumani, President of the Union of Comoros, to make his statement. Let's give him a clap as he now approaches the stage. Welcome, sir.
Excellences,
Excellencies,
Majestés, Mesdames et Messieurs, mes chers frères, chefs d'État et de gouvernement,
heads of state and government,
chefs de délégation,
heads of delegations,
Secretary
General of COMESA, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Je voudrais d'emblée, au nom de la délégation,
I would like, on behalf of my delegation,
en bien propre, exprimer le
and then my
sincère
own
remerciement
behalf, thank sincerely our brother, the President Ruto,
que nous appelons
that we are calling Amadabako in Comoros,
ainsi qu'au gouvernement
as well as the
peuple
government
frère
of Kenya,
pour l'accueil
for the welcome that has been accorded to us in this beautiful country, and for everything they've done to make our stay beautiful and guarantee the success of the summit. I also salute the role played by our brother in the fight against climate change and for the promotion of inclusive and sustainable development in Africa. Nairobi, and Nairobi is not only an African capital, a modern and dynamic capital, but also a symbolic place where the initiatives that are being put in place that are going to create the future of our dear continent. So I take this opportunity to congratulate sincerely to you, my dear brother, President Ruto, that from today you're becoming the chair of COMESA, and I wish you success in the pursuit of this noble mission in the service of our region. I also address my congratulations to the outgoing president, my dear brother Ndayishimiye, for the remarkable work that he has accomplished during his mandate, his engagement, and his leadership that have contributed to the consolidation of our organization. I also salute the work, remarkable work that has been accomplished by the COMESA Secretary General and their commitment towards regional integration. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable delegates, the theme of this 24th summit that brings us together is on digitization, so that we can deepen regional value chains and so that we have sustainable development and inclusive development with a common will to make our region sustainable development and prosperity and stability. So the choice of this theme is very prudent, given that digitization is today the engine behind modern economies and transforming the way in which we're producing, we trade, teach, and heal. And it is a factor of inclusion, given that the access to digital tools is helping our youth, women, and diaspora to be able to access markets and create value where the traditional structures did not provide these kind of opportunities. So we have with understanding that digital transformation is a very important means to our emergence, and we are reclaiming this in commerce. So with the arrival of the submarine cable, we have succeeded in commerce to reduce digital health and artificial intelligence, among others, underline, and artificial intelligence, among others, underline the digitization of strategic sectors, while ensuring that this digitization is supporting the transformation of value chains in agriculture, energy, and trade. And that is what is going to help us improve trade and materialize things that are happening at the customs and accelerate the AFCTN. So through health, we're going to reduce inequalities and provide different services to our dear population. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that stability of countries and digital transformation cannot succeed without this digital aspect. And I'd like to therefore express the support of my country to initiatives of COMESA in favor for peace and mediation and prevention of conflicts. I believe that we should be able to integrate cybersecurity as a very essential dimension for peace and sovereignty, because there is also what you may call cyber war, and we should be able to prepare collectively to deal with it when this comes up. And I also like to say that in this summit we should be able to adopt concrete recommendations that are going to accelerate regional integration, so that we can ensure that COMESA has becomes a model for integration in Africa. To conclude my speech, I call on our partners, especially the EU, to dialogue with COMESA and create a partnership, a win-win partnership, especially that takes into consideration the African priorities. And I call my brother African countries to be work in solidarity and defend the integrity and sovereignty of our countries. We can remind ourselves that your brother country, Comoros, has not been able to find its sovereignty because being an island, because the fourth island of Mayotte is still, unfortunately, administered and occupied by colonial powers. That is the French state. So, the integrity this aspect should be also considered by the African Union, so that we can ensure that digitization becomes a tool of digital solidarity and shared development. I thank you very much once again for listening to me.
Another round of applause for him, kindly. Thank you very much, sir. Next, Your Excellency, I would now like to invite His Excellency Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, to make his statement. Let's give him a clap as he approaches the stage. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA Authority. Your Excellency, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, outgoing Chairperson and Rapporteur of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellencies, the Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Youssef, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, President of the African Development Bank, His Excellency Dr. Tar, the Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, His Excellency Ambassador Katete, the Secretary General of COMESA, Excellency Madam Kapwepe, the Secretary General of the Africa Continental Free Trade, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me at the outset to extend my profound gratitude to the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, my dear brother William Ruto, as well as the government and people of Kenya, for the warm hospitality extended to me and my delegation since our arrival in the beautiful city of Nairobi. Your Excellency, we commend the excellent arrangements made for the hosting of this summit and the able manner in which you are steering our deliberations. By the same token, we congratulate His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, the outgoing Chairperson of the COMESA Authority, for his astute leadership over the past year in driving our regional integration agenda. This summit marks an important milestone in Zimbabwe's participation in the affairs of our regional community. Zimbabwe is committed to the ideals of regional integration, trade liberalization, and collective self-reliance that underpin this organization. COMESA continues to be a relevant and a vital platform for fostering multifaceted cooperation, the pooling of resources, harmonization of policies, and promotion of intra-regional trade and investment. Zimbabwe acknowledges the tangible benefits derived from COMESA membership. Our businesses continue to access a wider regional market, while thousands of small-scale traders, especially our women and youth, benefit from simplified trade regimes that easy cross-border commerce. COMESA's support has seen stronger value chains, accelerated industrialization, and improved infrastructure connectivity. To fully unlock COMESA's potential, non-tariff barriers, infrastructure gaps, and policy misalignments must be addressed. There is need to redouble our efforts as we implement more key initiatives such as the COMESA EAC SADC tripartite free trade area and African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. Your Excellencies, Zimbabwe is on a journey of economic transformation and modernization. My government is implementing comprehensive reforms to improve the business environment in our country, enhance empowerment, productivity, and attract investment. Industrialization, digital transformation, and climate-resilient agriculture are among our top priority areas, all of which align with COMESA's medium-term strategic plan. We also reaffirm our commitment to peace, to security, and good governance, which are essential ingredients for sustainable development and regional integration. Zimbabwe stands ready to work with fellow member states in promoting stability and consolidating democratic institutions, as well as addressing transnational threats that undermine the collective peace, progress, and prosperity of our respective peoples. Your Excellencies, undoubtedly, our continent is at historic and defining crossroads. The aspirations of Agenda 2063, and I quote, "the Africa we want," end of quote, are achievable. We all have a duty to harness our collective strengths and leverage the opportunities before us to propel COMESA to new heights. Together, let us deliver on the promise of a better future for our people and our mother continent, Africa. And thank you.
And next, I will call upon His Excellency, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, to make his statement. Let's welcome him with a clap.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samuel William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA. Your Excellency, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and the outgoing Chairperson of COMESA. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Mahmouda Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Excellency, Your Excellency Chilise Kamaope, Secretary General of COMESA, ladies and gentlemen, it is a real pleasure to be here in Kenya. I thank the government and people of Kenya for their generous welcome, and the COMESA Chairperson and Secretary General for bringing us together at such an important time. We are at a defining moment. Technology is moving faster than ever, reshaping how nations grow, how societies connect, and how prosperity is shared. For Africa, now is not the time to wait and watch. We have the people, creativity, and natural wealth to build a prosperous and fair future. What we need is to connect our efforts and act with common purpose. That's why regional institutions like COMESA matter more than ever. They must turn collective will into progress, driving coordination, not duplication, and integration, not isolation. This year's focus on digital solutions for stronger, more inclusive regional economies could not be more relevant. Digital transformation offers a unique chance to rewrite Africa's economic story. It is about building digital public infrastructure that allows people to prove who they are, make payments securely, access service easily, and connect across borders. In Ethiopia, we are putting this vision into practice through Digital Ethiopia 2030, our national blueprint for inclusive digital transformation. We have digitalized hundreds of public services, making them accessible without barriers or bureaucracy. We have a digital ID program that serves more than 25 million people, laying the ground for trust and efficiency in both government and businesses. Our digital payment ecosystem processed billions of transactions last year. And through our AI Institute and National Coding Program, over 2.2 million young Ethiopians have been trained and certified to become the creators and innovators of tomorrow. From this experience, we have learned a simple truth. When Africa invests in talent and in digital foundations, it can compete globally on its own terms. Our next step must be to connect these national efforts regionally. Imagine a COMESA region where ID, payments, and data flows seamlessly, where trade is frictionless, trust is digital, and innovation knows no borders. That's what regional digital public infrastructure can unlock. We stand ready to work with our neighbors to make this vision real, turning digital potential into regional power and inclusion into shared prosperity. The future will reward those who build it. Let us begin here with clarity, courage, and connection. I thank you.
Next, allow me to call on Your Excellency, Russell Dlamini, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini. So welcome him with a clap.
Your Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and Chairperson of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and incoming chairperson, Madam Chileshe Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm deeply honored to address this august assembly on behalf of His Majesty King Mswati III, Her Majesty the Queen Mother, and the people of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Allow me at the outset to convey His Majesty's warm greetings and sincere appreciation to the government and the people of the Republic of Kenya for their generous hospitality and impeccable organization of this summit. Honorable Chairperson, permit me also to commend you and the COMESA Secretariat for convening us under a most timely theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. This theme could not be more relevant. It speaks directly to our shared ambition of using technology and innovation as a great equalizer of our time. Your Excellencies, in Eswatini, digitalization is transforming the way we govern, the way we trade, and the way we serve our people. Allow me to highlight 3 flagship initiatives that capture this journey of transformation. First, Eswatini has notified the World Trade Organization of the partial implementation of our national single window. This represents a significant step towards simplifying trade processes and enhancing transparency. As we move towards full implementation, we respectfully request COMESA's technical and strategic support to ensure that our system is robust and interoperable within the regional framework. Linked to the national single window, the Electronic Certificate of Origin initiative, championed by COMESA, represents a transformative step in enhancing regional trade efficiency. By digitizing the certification process, the Electronic Certificate of Origin reduces transaction costs, minimizes fraud, and accelerates customs clearance, aligning seamlessly with the recent partial implementation of the national single window. Second, through our government in your hand, a platform, Eswatini has digitized public service delivery and payments for taxes and utilities. Citizens can now access services directly from their phones, linking banks to mobile money and empowering the smallest traders and entrepreneurs. Thirdly, our National Disaster Management Agency is deploying drone technology to monitor crops and enhance early warning systems against climate shocks. This has helped us safeguard food security while strengthening resilience to climate change. I am also pleased to report that our cross-border connectivity has been expanded by over 70%, making trade more efficient and resilient. Honorable Chairperson, we must fully unlock the potential of COMESA, EAC, and SADC tripartite free trade area. When we harmonize our policies, remove barriers, and share infrastructure, we multiply opportunities for our people. This is proof that regional integration works and prosperity grows when we move together. Your Excellencies, peace and stability remain the bedrock of all our ambitions. Eswatini welcomes the report on COMESA's Peace and Security Program, which underscores our region's commitment to early warning and conflict prevention. Without peace, there can be no progress. Without stability, our economies cannot thrive. At the 80th United Nations General Assembly, His His Majesty King Mswati III called for ad hoc global committees to address pockets of instability, reminding the world that dialogue must be the heart of any lasting solution. At the regional level, COMESA's forums for dialogue and cooperation are vital in fostering the sense of shared destiny that binds our peoples. Honorable Chairperson, trade remains a cornerstone of Eswatini's economy, accounting for a large share of GDP and employment. We are diversifying from traditional commodities to value-added goods and digital services so that our people benefit more directly from global demand. We urge COMESA to continue supporting our integration into regional value chains. Digitalization is central to this effort. His Majesty recently committed $5 million to support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, particularly those led by women and the youth. Through e-commerce platforms, these enterprises can now connect with buyers across borders and across value chains. Your Excellencies, we commend the COMESA Business Council for its leadership in strengthening regional value chains in agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, and textiles. We also welcome the Horticulture Connect initiative with the European Union, which links African producers directly with European markets, improving incomes and promoting sustainable land use. As a nation with a vibrant, ambitious youth population, Eswatini believes that our young people must be at the center of our digital future. We therefore propose that COMESA considers Eswatini as the next country for one-stop shop for youth empowerment, modeled after the successful example here in Kenya. Such an initiative will ignite innovation, create jobs, and unleash the creative potential of our young citizens. Your Excellencies, in conclusion, let us use digitalization not merely to move goods faster, but also to move minds, to move knowledge and opportunities across our region. Let us ensure that no one is left behind and that the prosperity we build is inclusive, sustainable, and resilient. On behalf of His Majesty King Mswati III, I reaffirm Eswatini's unwavering commitment to the COMESA vision of a peaceful, integrated, and prosperous Africa. May God bless the COMESA family. I thank you.
Next, I will call upon His Excellency Mustafa Madbouly, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt.
فخامة الرئيس ويليام روتو رئيس جمهورية كينيا.
Your Excellency Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of the COMESA Authority. Your Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and outgoing Chairperson. Distinguished members of all of the delegations, Your Excellency Chilchika Pwepwe, Secretary General of the COMESA, representatives of different organizations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me convey the greetings and best wishes of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Republic of Egypt, who values the 24th COMESA Summit that is held in Nairobi and reiterates his full commitment and support for the purposes and the objectives of COMESA and wishes you a fruitful COMESA Summit. I would also like to express my gratitude for Kenya government and people for their warm hospitality, and I would like to congratulate His Excellency the President Ruto for presiding the COMESA authority, and also express my gratitude to His Excellency the President of Burundi for all of his exerted efforts and the Secretary General. Egypt believes that regional integration is a great pillar towards sustainable development and is keen on participation in different programs and initiatives concerning infrastructure, energy, health, and digitization, believing that working hand in hand is the way and is the route to take towards prosperity. And Egypt reiterates its commitment towards the AFCFTA as a strategic umbrella to raise the capacities and clusters of the economic regional areas in COMESA, and believes in all of the free trade agreements to be able to build a true AFCFTA and to be able to attract investment towards the African economy. In addition, we are keen on participating on all of the different projects and initiatives and to be able to leverage what Egypt has already reached from objectives, from different digital and strategic challenges, to be able to serve all of the needs of the African continent. And Egypt is committed to actively work in COMESA that is hosted and hosts different programs in Cairo affiliated to COMESA, and also to support infrastructure sustainability and the facilitation of trade and investment in order to raise the volume of intra-African trade within all of the challenges that we are facing. Ladies and gentlemen, this summit is in a very important timing as the world faces so many challenges along with our dear Africa. Some countries in COMESA has a lot of instability and political tension that requires more consolidation of efforts and to depend on the principles of sovereignty and integrity, and to avoid unilateral practices and actions, so we can establish peace and stability in the African countries. As we can see, there's a lowering of GDP and increasing of inflation and exacerbation of the impacts of climate change, which requires enhancing cooperation to face these challenges and to strive towards prosperity through routes of investments and economic integration. In conclusion, I would like to reiterate Egypt's unwavering commitment in working with Kenya in its presiding of the COMESA authority, along with supporting all countries of the COMESA towards the economic and economic integration. Thank you so much.
Allow me to now call on Her Excellency Major Retired Jessica Alupo, Vice President of the Republic of Uganda.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA, Your Excellency, Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi and the outgoing Chairperson of COMESA, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, Your Excellency Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency Madam Chileshe Kapwepwe, Secretary General of COMESA, distinguished delegates, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I thank Your Excellency William Ruto and all the people of Kenya for the warm welcome accorded to us since we arrived here in Kenya. Asante sana kunikaribisha sisi hapa mjini Nairobi, Kenya. I bring you warm greetings from your brother, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, who due to other equally demanding state duties couldn't join us here physically, but he sends you his warm regards. I congratulate Your Excellency William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, upon the assumption of the chair of COMESA. And I thank Your Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, upon the milestones achieved during your tenure as chair of COMESA. I congratulate the COMESA Secretariat and the COMESA Business Council for the successful business forum which has set the tone for our deliberations this morning. Excellencies, the 24th COMESA Summit is guided by the theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, which resonates well with the global trends on digitalization, science, technology, and innovation to solve our problems. Excellencies, the theme reflects the barriers that technology has broken to enable us achieve our targets as COMESA member states, and I would like to congratulate again the COMESA Secretariat for the milestones. We must continue to accelerate the establishment of other complementary factors like infrastructure, electricity or energy, human resource development, peace and security, etc., in order for us to achieve modern industrialized economies. For the case of Uganda, Excellencies, wealth and jobs are in 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, manufacturing or industry, services, and ICT. Therefore, COMESA is central to our vision because today our exports to the region exceed $2 billion annually. Excellencies, while this sounds a big success, it presents both challenges and opportunities as Uganda's intra-COMESA trade still stands at only 6% of our total trade. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, permit me, therefore, to reiterate the messages which His Excellency President Museveni has always emphasized, namely, regional integration is a survival strategy, fragmented markets confine our people to a vicious cycle of poverty. Africa's wealth lies in value addition. Exporting raw materials is self-defeating. Digitalization is a great equalizer. It allows us to leapfrog stages of development. Peace and stability are indispensable. Without them, integration remains academic. Therefore, to make digitalization the true driver of growth, we must collectively eliminate barriers to trade, including non-tariff barriers. Invest in infrastructure, energy, and digital skills. Prioritize industrialization and agro-processing. Strengthen public-private partnerships. Safeguard peace and security in our region. Harness the potential of women and youth. Excellencies, in conclusion, guided by this summit theme, let us seize the opportunities and face the challenges with unity and resolve. Together, we can build a COMESA that is prosperous, inclusive, and resilient. Uganda reaffirms her commitment to the COMESA agenda and stands ready to work with all member states to deepen integration and deliver tangible prosperity for all our people. I thank you for your kind attention.
As we continue with statements, we have 3 more statements before we go for the heads of states closed-door session. And allow me at this point to invite Her Excellency Chileshe Mpundu Kapwepwe, COMESA Secretary General, to deliver her statement. A clap for her, please, as she approaches the stage. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Chairperson of COMESA Authority, Your Excellency, Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Vice Chairperson of the Authority, Excellency, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of Burundi and outgoing Chairperson and Rapporteur of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Excellency Wamukele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. On the interest of time, may I stand on protocols already established and simply say, ladies and gentlemen, it is my utmost honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to the Nairobi 24th Summit Heads of State and Government of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. The summit brings together leaders, stakeholders from the region, whose presence today is a powerful affirmation of our unity, our shared pursuit of regional integration, and our unwavering commitment to inclusive prosperity. I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate the newly elected members of the Bureau of the Authority, headed by the chairperson, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. Your Excellency, President Ruto, our gracious host, I wish to take this opportunity to pay special tribute to you and your government and the people of Kenya. Your election as chairperson of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellency, is indeed a great, clear testimony of the confidence and endorsement of Kenya's commitment and support to regional integration agenda of COMESA. I commend Kenya for its readiness, exceptional hospitality, and professional approach in support of the successful hosting of this event. Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, I also wish to acknowledge support and guidance that I have received from the outgoing chairperson of the authority, His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, who has been at the helm of COMESA for the last 12 months. Your Excellency, during your tenure, COMESA attained several economic milestones which you presided over. Your keynote address and your statement during the launch of the annual report are rich with COMESA's accomplishments during your tenure as chairperson of the authority. I also thank your government and the people of Burundi for the support they have given during the last 12 months. This year's summit theme, leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth, holds special resonance. It reflects COMESA's vision to harness technology for economic transformation, empowerment of our people, and to foster a resilient future. This is especially so given the existing global trade policy uncertainties, the rising protectionism, and geoeconomic confrontations, which lead to increased tariffs, trade barriers, thereby disrupting supply chains and increasing the cost of doing business. Excellencies, we are moving with speed to digitize every aspect of our trade facilitation instruments and in the construction of world-class physical and digital infrastructure. For instance, the 2.5 billion COMESA World Bank Digital Acceleration Program is actively rolling out in 2025, targeting connection of 180 million people and digital services to at least 100 more by the year 2030. This initiative prioritizes access for women, youth, refugees, businesses, and public agencies. Besides, the Africa Cloud Ecosystem Project is the first of its kind, delivering reliable, affordable cloud services for crucial sectors like agriculture, health, education. We are sparing no effort to simplify trade processes, reduce barriers, and connect businesses across borders, thereby deepening regional value chains and increasing intra-COMESA trade. The summit, Your Excellencies, was preceded by the 18th High-Level COMESA Business Forum, which convened policymakers, regional business leaders, and development partners to forge strategic partnership and advance a vision for sustainable, inclusive growth, grounded in digitalization, regional value chains, and expanded opportunities for SMEs, women, and youth. Public-private dialogue prioritized cross-border mobility, harmonized regulations, and investor-friendly policies, laying a solid foundation for deeper collaboration and transformative actions. In addition, the COMESA Business Council also co-hosted with the EU the COMESA EU Connect, which brought together EU buyers and COMESA producers in the horticulture sector. This was a clear demonstration of COMESA's practical support to increase market access and develop value chains for our member states. On the peace and security agenda, the 20th meeting of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs was held yesterday and reviewed the progress made in implementation of various activities towards promoting peace and security. In our deliberations, let us confront persistent obstacles such as overdependence on development aid, delay in delivering commitments, slow ratification and implementation of trade policy instruments, and the digital divide, with a renewed commitment and collective resolve. Let us be bold in reform, diligent in execution, innovative in cultivating partnership, including our relationships with the African Union, European Union, World Bank, African Development Bank, and regional economic communities. Excellencies, honorable ministers, honorable distinguished guests, as I conclude, I'd like to once again extend my gratitude to you, Your Excellencies, and to everyone for supporting me and the Secretariat in discharging our responsibility and mandate to ensure that we realize our goals. Let us seize this historic moment to drive the digital agenda, build resilient value chains, encourage free movement of business persons, and champion sustainable and inclusive growth for the region. I thank you for your attention, your dedication, your vision for a bright future for the common market. Asanteni.
Allow me to now invite His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, to deliver his statement.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellence, Monsieur William Ruto, Président de la République du Kenya, Président en exercice du COMESA.
The Chair of COMESA, President Ndayishimiye from the Republic of Burundi, the outgoing Chair for COMESA, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, delegations, Your Excellency, Madam Chileshe Kapwepe, SG from COMESA, ladies and gentlemen, It's a big honor for me to participate in this 24th summit of COMESA. I wish to first and foremost thank President William Ruto and his government and the people of Kenya for the hospitality that has been given to us, and since we arrived here in Nairobi, as well as for everything that has been done to ensure that this important event is successful. I also congratulate you for having accepted to assume the chairmanship of COMESA. I also wish to salute His Excellency President Ndayishimiye for his leadership and dedication during his chairmanship of the COMESA Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1924 to 94, COMESA, through the Treaty of Abuja, has been there, and of course there have been a lot of challenges that has come up, that is faced, given the disparities of the economies of the member states, diversity of the policies, and national policies, and deficit in terms of infrastructure. So the organization has, however, been able to grow, and today it has 21 members that has one of the biggest geographical spaces for trade, with this GDP of about $26 million. So we have known a lot of progress, and now we have the intercontinental free trade area that this is going to be achieved, and we have our first ambition of ensuring that we have the pillar where we have the RECs, including COMESA, that are going to be part of this continental space. So we're going to ensure that we create resilient economies, and today the continent needs energy, and the 6 million of our African citizens don't have access to electricity. So the infrastructure programs, the PIDA program, with $1 billion that is supposed to invest in this sector. So this remains a big challenge, and Africa imports a lot of food products, and we continue to accelerate this process of digitalization. And the theme of this summit brings this out clearly, and we want to say that this is affecting all the aspects of life, and we only have the capacity to actually be able to control the value chains. So certainly we have good signs in this regard, and COMESA has shown that there is innovation on the food production in 2025. So I'd like to remind you the strong challenges that agriculture is facing, especially when we look at climate change. Ladies and gentlemen,
and open up to broader markets. More integrated groupings, such as SADC, East African Community, and COMESA, 3 regional economic communities, are mutually reinforcing each other into a union that stands as a functional model and a beacon lighting the way towards continental integration. However, these remarkable advances are confronted by recent international economic context, marked by 2 major developments: the end of AGOA on September the 30th, and the introduction of new taxes and tariffs by the US administration on African products. For 25 years, these products had entered the American market duty-free. These new tariffs undermine the competitiveness of African products in the US market, posing a threat to the growth of our national economies, especially those whose vitality depend on export volumes to the United States. This worrying situation makes the importance of EFCFTA even more pressing. Through optimal functioning, it should intensify intra-African trade. The successful completion of EFCFTA Phase 1 on protocols urgently calls for moving to the next step, applying rules and eliminating all friction points, especially persistent non-tariff barriers that are even more harmful than tariffs across all 8 of our regional economic communities. In brief, I strongly urge all regional economic communities to commit to implementing all technical requirements necessary to the CFTA to operate fully. This will bring about cumulative positive effects, driving the structural transformation of Africa's economy, a foundation for achieving Agenda 2063. My fervent wish is for the 24th summit of COMESA, of heads of state and government, to make COMESA a leader in the full implementation of EFCFTA. For its part, the African Union Commission, faithful to its statutory missions, remains available to support COMESA on its path towards its objectives. I thank you.
And the final speaker for this session, allow me to invite His Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Tumpigie makofi. Let's welcome him with a clap. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, President Ruto, Chairperson of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellency, President Ndayishimiye, the outgoing Chairperson of the COMESA Authority, Your Excellencies, our heads of states and government, representatives of heads of states and government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency Madam Secretary General Kapwepwe, the Secretary General of COMESA, Prime Cabinet Secretary Mudavadi, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, leaders of the private sector, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to yet again participate in the summit of COMESA. I'm most grateful for the opportunity to be here today. May I start by congratulating Her Excellency Madam Secretary General on all of the progress recorded since the last summit last year. In line with this year's theme, I wish to commend COMESA for the very bold steps that have been taken under the leadership of the COMESA Authority to embrace digitalization and the digital economy as a catalyst for growth and integration. Various initiatives that have been rolled out, including the digital free trade area, the cross-border payment systems, electronic certificates of origin, as well as other digital tools, enable more efficient, transparent, and inclusive trade within COMESA. Certainly, COMESA in this regard is a shining example and model for the rest of the continent as we transition to digital trade. As the chairperson has just noted, the AFC itself has now moved from negotiations to implementation. Digitization is at the center of this transition to implementation. In this regard, a key milestone is the Protocol on Digital Trade, which was adopted by the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the African Union in February 2024. The protocol addresses a number of critical challenges, including payments that is seamless, interoperable across regions, market access for digital products, digital trade facilitation, and most importantly, an imperative that we all share, digital inclusion. We believe where we implement the protocol on digital trade, Africa's digital economy is set to increase from the current value of 180 billion United States dollars to over $700 billion by the year 2050. At the heart of this accelerated growth in Africa's digital economy must be benefits for small and medium enterprises and young people. The AFCFTA Secretariat is committed to working with COMESA to play an important role in the harmonization of digital trade rules and the deployment of digital technologies for Africa's economic development. Progress has been made in very important trade-enabling areas, such as payments. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System has been adopted and endorsed by the Assembly of Heads of States and Government as an example of the deployment of digital tools to enhance and reduce the cost of trade in Africa. May I conclude, Your Excellencies, by making an observation that is all too obvious to all of us, and that is the current adverse geo-economic global context, which will have materially adverse market in Africa to enable the economic self-sufficiency of our continent. Modest steps have been taken in this regard. For example, in 2024, Africa recorded trade of $220 billion. More and more countries are beginning to seize the opportunities of the AfCFTA. 24 countries are currently trading under the rules of the AfCFTA. And today, this afternoon, Ethiopia will mark its first trade under the rules of the AfCFTA. Your Excellencies, modest progress has been recorded. However, more needs to be done to build the economic self-sufficiency of our continent by creating a truly viable domestic market in Africa through the AfCFTA, where no country is left behind. I thank you very much.
Can we give a round of applause to all the speakers that have spoken so far? We now will progress to the closed session of the Summit of Heads of State and Government. And I'll request that we all be upstanding as we allow the presidents, the prime ministers, and the vice president to exit while the rest of us hold on. I will guide you on our exit protocol, but let's allow the heads of state, that's the presidents, the prime ministers, and the vice president, to kindly exit to proceed to the closed door session room, which is next door. I'll request that ministers and other delegates that have accompanied their heads of state to kindly wait as I will guide you on how we shall exit.